So I initially got in actually pretty early relative to what I've done now. So I got in around like 2014,
Oh,
and it
wow.
was very much the counterculture. You know, I found there was money outside of the, you know, the little sphere of influence here in the States. You know, then I understood, you know, the Silk Road, sort of all those gravitating things at the time. And, you know, for a young rebellious cat who likes is very much a free thinker, I was like, wait a minute, you're telling me there's money not controlled by the government that you can go buy illegal stuff with? All right, I'm in. And it, you know, it was one of those things that I didn't even want to do illegal things, but I wanted to be able to do illegal things if I wanted to, right?
Absolutely.
As funny as that was, so it was very much you know, along the lines of that cyberpunk kind of movement. So I had some Bitcoin. I bought a few things on the Silk Road, just small stuff, you know, bought a little weed and things like that. I think I bought bullets one time because I thought it was awesome.
That's awesome.
So you know, a few of those little things. It was not, but it was really more about the path. You know, I wasn't getting anything from it that I couldn't have gotten other ways. It was just very unique, just the whole concept of the chain, and that's what drove me in. And one of the really funny experiences I had was right around after Ethereum had launched somewhere. Now I'm terrible with time, but I'd had like 3 or 4 grand in Bitcoin at the time, and I caught one of the big spikes, and it went up to just over 10 grand. So I caught like a 3x. And you would think, so I'm probably 25, 26 at this point. You'd think, being the guy that everyone speaks to now, you think I'd be smart enough to say, wow, my money just tripled. I see all these millionaires and these guys making gains. This is something I should be involved in. When I tell you guys that I literally looked at the screen, was like, oh, wow, I got a bunch more Bitcoin. Cool. And set the phone. I just moved on. Like, it didn't even register in my brain that I had done nothing and tripled my bag. It just didn't hit in the brain. It just didn't go by the hypothalamus, man. It just didn't sink in. So I just went on. You know, I spent a little bit and did other things. And even as I'm sitting here reading about people making money and I'm grinding and doing my own thing, it didn't hit that this was a real way, that there was ways to, you know, to make a lot of profit. So you know, I found RH pretty early on, and I just thought RH was an interesting thinker. One of my favorite things he did was when he talked to Roger Ver early on, because aside all the things that Roger Ver's done, I know a lot of people have negative things about him. He's a very interesting cat. He's very intelligent. He's very pro freedom and choice. So I have a lot of positive things to say about him. So when I heard those guys talk, that was, again, that resonated with me, that freedom aspect. And then the same thing, you know, when it came around to HEX and everything. So I knew when HEX was out and it was launching. And again, it was one of those things that you know, it was almost like watching a sport to me. I was like, oh, my guy RH is going to put out something crazy that's going to, like, you know, crush and do well. Never registers again mentally that, like, hey, this is going to be valuable. You should probably have some of this. So again, it was pretty funny. It wasn't until, let's see, what was that? Basically the beginning of the end of 2020 and beginning of 2021 that I really started to move larger bags. And I had holdings. And again, as they went up, it just still didn't hit. So I hadn't really taken the investor mind state until really about the last 2 years, 2.5 years or so. And then naturally, you know, been in HEX, obviously I'm spent a lot of time, put a lot of energy into PulseChain and PulseX as well. And then, you know, anyone who cares to listen to this probably knows where I've been the last 8 months, because you probably talked to me almost every single day for the last 8 months. So now I'm here and hanging out with one of the great guys putting out good content in our space, Corey, and that kicks us up today.